Good morning. This morning I thought I would share how I make my very easy yeast bread. My daughter-in-law Rachel asked if she could have the recipe, so I thought that would be a great time to get going on making some more videos. To start out, I usually get what I need together, and it's just for the ingredients, flour. I usually get organic flour from an online place called vitacost.com. I think it's Bob Redmill's organic white flour. Sometimes I mix in oats with it or wheat also. Sea salt, olive oil, and then we buy our yeast in bulk at our local natural food store. It's much less expensive that way. Okay. The next thing I do is I grab my measuring container and I run the water until it's nearly hot, pretty hot. And I measure out 1 cup. And I take that cup of water. You're seeing all of our house here in all its glory. And I bring the warm cup of hot water and I pour it in my bowl. Next we measure out 1 tablespoon of the yeast and put it into the bowl. Now we need a sweetener to activate the yeast. For today, I'm going to use organic cane sugar, which we also get in bulk from our natural food store. And I add a tablespoon of the organic cane sugar in with the yeast and the water. You could also use honey for sure. Next, I take a whisk and I just whisk it all together. And then you just let it sit to poof for about 5 minutes. So here is the yeast, water, and sugar or sweetener. It got all nice and frothy and puffy. So the next step is to add your flour. And for simplicity's sake today, I'm just going to add 1, 2, and then about 3/4 of a cup of white organic flour. And then we need a teaspoon. We add a teaspoon of salt. And we add a tablespoon, 2 tablespoons of olive oil. You could also melt butter and use butter, melted butter for this step. And then I take my bread pan and I add olive oil onto the bottom of it. A decent amount so the bread loaf doesn't stick. And then we stir. You want to stir? Yeah. And then we stir up. I use a wooden spoon to do the first step of stirring it up. Try to keep it in the bowl. At first it might seem like it takes you a while to do this, but I can make a loaf of bread within about 5 minutes now, I think. Maybe only the time it takes to knead it, so maybe altogether 10 minutes. You'll get really used to it and just make it part of your daily routine. This was one of the first things I did when we wanted to start changing our diet to more from scratch diet. I prefer now to do sourdough, which I don't have a starter right now for ourselves, but our children still eat this yeast bread and they really like it. It's probably better for sure than store-bought. Does save money and I think it's healthier. All right, good. So once once you get it all combined, you're going to notice that it's still pretty sticky, and it's going to be too sticky to knead with your hands. But, so take your, I get all the dough off of my spoon, and then I add about a quarter of a cup of flour, just right over the top. Make sure your hands are clean, and you push down. This is kneading it. Lift up and turn. Push down, lift up and turn. So I want to scrape a little bit down the side of the bowl, get all the flour off. Push down, lift and turn. Push down. Hey, stop it, Emily. Push down. Are you making funny faces? Push down and turn. Now, do you want to try, Emily?
Okay.
All right, so we're going to push down, lift and turn. Push down, lift, and then you flip it. Push down, lift and flip. Push down, lift and flip. And so I'm gonna let Emily try. Go ahead. You're gonna knead the dough until it's nice and soft and combined. You'll know it just gets nice and smooth. Knead it for about 5 minutes. Good. Flip. Push down. Grab the front of it and push it down, and then push. And then grab the front, fold it over, and push. Grab the front, fold it over to the back, and then push. Right, good. We should probably have your hair pulled back for sure. Okay. Good. All right. Push and pull. Push and fold. Push and fold. So after it's nice and smooth, I just kind of roll it out to make a loaf shape. And we take the bread pan that has the oil already in the bottom and roll it around in it, coat all sides so it doesn't stick to the pan. Flip it to get the ends and roll it. And then set it somewhere warm to rise. In our case, we put it on the stairs behind the wood stove in the winter. All right. Okay, so when the loaf of bread dough gets to be slightly above the top of the pan, I turn on the oven and preheat it to 350. And once it's preheated, I put the loaf of bread in and bake at 350 degrees for 30 minutes. When I'm ready to put the bread in, I just set the timer for 30 minutes and we are all set. Okay, so the bread is done, the timer went off, and I lay the bread down on a cooling rack on its side, and out it comes after a few minutes as it cools. Very, very simple. And there you have our 10-minute loaf of bread. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it was helpful. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below and I will do my best to answer them. I've also left some links to the flour that we use. And if I can think of anything else, I'll be sure to leave them in the links. All right. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.